Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Jurassic Park 3 Re-Ak A-Tak Male Velociraptor. Now, the Jurassic Park 3 toy line is a toy line that's kind of interesting. It's not really my favorite out of all the Jurassic Park films, as far as toy line goes. Of course, I think both The Lost World and Jurassic Park had much better figures, but I remember a point in time where these figures were really hated. I remember there was a lot of people saying these figures are horrible. They are the worst things ever. You know, but then Hasbro came out with the Jurassic World toy line, and everyone was just kind of like, you know what? These Jurassic Park 3 figures, they're not too bad at all. I like them. It's just funny how that works. But even looking at this figure, this is actually not a bad figure at all. I really like this, actually. You know? Again, it's as far as Jurassic Park figures go, it's not my favorite by any means, but it's still really nice. There are things that I can look at it and say wow, this is actually really nice. You know, things that I wish Mattel would do for their Jurassic World toy line. Again, I can't stress this enough. I don't hate Mattel. I know in my videos I'm not really the kindest to them, but they could still improve. You know, there's still a lot of room for improvement, but overall, I think their figures are still good, but Kenner's better. And if you say otherwise, well, I don't know what to tell. I don't really agree with that. But you do you, but Kenner's best. Yeah, but anyway, with that out of the way, so here we are, a Jurassic Park 3 male Velociraptor, and I actually really like this figure. You know, there are a lot of things about it where it's this is a really nice figure. So, yeah, let's just get right into this. So first, we'll take a look at the paint, and the painting on this figure is actually really nice. I can't stress this enough. The painting here is just really good. Let's take a look at that. So, of course, most of the body here is this brownish color, and we do have this whitish color for the underside with some brown stripes, which I don't know about this stuff here, but you know, it still looks fine. I like it. For some reason, the claws here, they are painted red, which I don't get that, but you know, whatever. Of course, the crests here are painted red, as well as the quill feathers and the this back of the body right here and all the way to the tail, which looks nice. I like this little white line because that is it's not, again, it's not one-to-one, but it does look very, it does really reminisce. Zack, what are you trying to say? It is very reminiscent of Jurassic Park 3. There we go. I know words, guys. Don't worry. But, yeah. Really like the stripe here, the white stripe. Going to the eye here, we can see that they are painted orange. And for the pupil, we have, a little bit of both yellow and black, which I think looks really nice, you know. And same with the other side too. The eyes just look really nice. The teeth, of course, are painted a yellowish whitish color, which looks nice. And the tongue and the membrane, they are painted this very dull pinkish color, which works, I guess. On the side of the leg here, we can see the Jurassic Park 3 logo. You probably can't see it too well because it does blend in with the brown, but it is there. You can see the 3 right there. I don't know about the JP. I don't know, but it is there. My camera isn't really picking it up, but if you were to own this figure in person, you would see it pretty clearly. But, yeah. Anyway, the fingernails are painted black, and the toenails are painted black as well. But what's really cool is that Hasbro actually painted the dew claws here. They didn't need to do that, but they did, and honestly, that is really commendable. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. You know, it's not perfect by any means, but I really like it a lot, you know. I mean, I could have done with the brown stripes on the underside, but all the color, this is a very colorful figure. All of the paint apps are applied very cleanly and just, yeah, it just looks really nice as far as paint goes. Everything is very clean. There's no paint defects or anything like that. And yeah, overall, just the painting on this figure is really nice. So the painting on this figure definitely gets a pass. So, yeah. Anyway, now we'll take a look at the articulation. And this is where it kind of gets complicated for me. Because, there's not a lot of articulation. But I feel that's mainly because of, how this figure is designed. But we'll talk more about that when we talk about the sculpt. But anyway, the only parts that move on their own are the legs. There's no mouth articulation or anything like that, which is fine. Yeah. But basically, there's a lever on the back here between the shoulders. So if you just push that, you get this sort of like slashing motion with the very iconic Velociraptor sound. For a while, that actually used to be one of my favorite sounds the Raptors would make. So, yeah, when I got this, when I got the 20th anniversary version, I just like non-stop just did that because I just really like that sound. But yeah, there's that, which is cool. And then, of course, we have the dino damage here, which is another thing I don't really like. But we'll talk about that when we talk about the sculpt. There's the vertebrae in the tail here. I forgot what the word was for a second. You push that, and you get that noise, which is also really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. It's not bad. There's not a lot. It's mainly like, again, like there's not a lot, which isn't the problem, but just the way this figure was designed, that kind of irks me. So, yeah. But overall, the articulation on this figure, not terrible, considering like the pose and everything like that. So, the articulation on this figure is good. I'd say it gets a pass. Now take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure is where my issues start to come into play. It looks nice as far as like the design goes. Like, it's not one-to-one, but you can at least still tell that this is supposed to be the male Velociraptor from Jurassic Park 3. So, there is that. But, well, first of all, the dino damage here, like, with the Kenner figures, they had dino damage, but you could at least cover it up. But with this figure, it's just kind of like stuck there. You can't really cover that up or anything like that, which is very unfortunate. Granted, like all of the red for like the musculature there, it does blend in with the red stripe going down the body. So it does kind of hide it, but unfortunately we do have the vertebrae here, which, again, I really would have done without, but, it's, I don't know. But, like, my main issue with the sculpting here is just, like, the stance. I'm not a big fan of this, like, because, like, if this was a statue type figure, then this would work really well. But the thing I liked about Kenner was that, like, all of the dinosaurs, like, they were just neutral standing, so, like, yeah, it looked nice. But with these figures, they're trying to be, like, statues, kind of, where it's, like, they're trying to be both statues and figures. So, like, when you move the joint, like, there's not a lot of play value here. Of course, when I do size comparisons, I will bring out some examples, but, of, like, older Jurassic Park figures. But, yeah, no, the actual, like, stance of this figure, I'm not the biggest fan of, and same with the dino damage, but overall, the sculpting still looks really nice. Again, you can tell that this is, it's not one-to-one, but you can at least still tell that this is a male Velociraptor from Jurassic Park 3, and I like that a lot. So, yeah, the sculpting, not terrible, but not perfect either. So, the sculpting, I'd say the sculpting gets, like, 3/4 of a pass. Not a full pass, like, the rest of it still looks nice, but the dino damage and the stance just kind of take away from me. So, kind of a takeaway, so, yeah. The sculpting on this figure, not perfect, but still pretty nice for what it is. So, yeah, the sculpting here gets 3/4 of a pass. Now, take a look at the detailing. And the detail on this figure is actually really nice. So let's take a closer look. So going to the head here, all of these scales and all of the like wrinkles and creases and everything like that are actually detailed very nicely. Everything here just looks very nice. That actually kind of reminds me of I'm just realizing this. The head actually kind of reminds me of the Screaming Velociraptor figure from Kenner for the first movie. So I think that's pretty cool. They didn't use like the same mold, of course, but again, like it still looks neat. And of course, all the bits of scaling and like creases and like wrinkles throughout the body looks really nice. The arms have a very nice bit of musculature to them, and even the claws are detailed very nicely. All of the scales just look really nice. Going to the leg here, again, a lot of really nice musculature, and all of the wrinkles and scales and everything like that just looks really nice, really beautifully designed. The dino damage is detailed. I could have done without that again, but the detailing is still there. And the tail here, all of the scales and musculature, and all the wrinkles and everything like that, just really beautifully designed or defined, and again, it just looks really nice. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for the detail on this figure. And the detail on this figure is really nice, so the detailing definitely gets a pass. So, at the end of the day, should you get this? Honestly, I'd say yeah. Even though, like, if you're a collector, you know, and you don't really, like, play with figures, you just, like, you know, display them, then I think this is still a very nice display piece. Very colorful, so I like that a lot. And, yeah, as far as, like, a play thing, it's not perfect, but yeah, as far as like a Jurassic Park 3 male Velociraptor goes, I think this is the best we're going to get. Mattel was going to release one, but they decided to cancel that because, you know, good ideas to them is just kind of non-existent. But, alright, again, I don't hate Mattel, but they've done some things where it's like, why? I don't get that at all, but I digress. But, no, as far as this figure goes, yeah, it's still a very nice figure. I like it a lot. So, yeah, get it if you can. I think it's like between $15 and maybe $25, which isn't terrible. The quality on this figure is very nice. I don't know how much it would go for in the box, but as far as loose goes, you are looking at those prices. But again, I'd say it's worth it because this is actually a very nice figure. I like it a lot. So, yeah. Anyway, now, of course, this is a part of the video where we do size comparisons. Here we have an original Jurassic Park Kenner Velociraptor, and this is what I mean, because like this figure, it's in this like aggressive stance, so it like looks more like a statue, which looks nice if you're like, you know, if it's a display piece. But this is nice because like there's a lot of play value. It's not in a pose. You could just like have it running or something like that. And with this figure, you can't really do that because like, yeah, that doesn't really look great. Shut up. But yeah, it doesn't really look great. But with this figure, like, you can do all sorts of things, like have it run and stuff like that. And even though mine doesn't really work as well, yeah. So there's like more play value when it comes to like this style of like dinosaur figure. So I think this is a better figure. But again, this is not bad either. And also, again, I don't hate Mattel, but I just want to say this. The feet are very small. The tail is very long. And it stands very well. Mattel, for some reason, likes to give us huge feet, short tails, like that short. And I just don't get it. Again, I like Mattel, but I don't get their design choices, if I'm being 100% honest. So, yeah. Anyway, here is the Jurassic Park 25th Anniversary Re-Ak A-Tak Velociraptor. This is like the original version I reviewed, and like the one I had growing up. Between the two, I like this one more, but this one doesn't look terrible. I like the sort of gazelle kind of you know, color scheme going on here. It looks nice. So, yeah. And here we have Mattel's Battle Damage Blue, which, again, not a bad figure by any means, but you see what I mean. I mean, okay, the tail, it's proportionate, but like these feet are massive. And you look at this figure, the feet are small, and the tail is bigger. Like, sure, this figure stands well, but like, you don't need to do that. You could just like make the feet small, have the tail long, but just like don't make them in this like aggressive stance. Have them like stand like that or something. That looks really nice, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of like aggressively stanced figures, but that's just me. So, yeah. Anyway, of course, this is the part of the video when we bring out Dr. Billy Grant. And of course, Dr. Billy Grant is actually like originally a Jurassic Park 3 figure. So, you know, it would make sense for the scaling to work here, but it kind of doesn't. You see, the Raptor is a little too big. So maybe if it was like, maybe like that, as far as scale goes, I think it'd work a little nicer, but that's just a little too big to be a Velociraptor. A Jurassic Park Velociraptor, I mean. So, yeah, I'm not going to get into the whole, oh, well, they're much smaller in real life. I'm not doing that. Of course, here we have some hand sanitizer. And yeah. So that's pretty much it for the size comparisons. And that is pretty much it for this review. That is it for today, of course. Have a great rest of your week. And I will see you in the next video. Peace. Zack out.